Right now, your body is sitting at about 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. It was 98.6 degrees yesterday, and barring an illness, it will be 98.6 degrees tomorrow. Outside your skin, the world is chaotic. Temperatures swing drastically from freezing nights to blazing afternoons. Humidity spikes and drops, and weather patterns shift by the hour. Maintaining that internal stillness is a relentless biological battle, requiring a massive amount of invisible energy to counter the environmental chaos. This process is called homeostasis. It's the constant, automated work your body does to maintain a stable internal environment, no matter what is happening on the outside. If that internal temperature drifts even a few degrees up, you enter hyperthermia. A few degrees down, hypothermia. Both lead to organ failure. We survive within a razor-thin margin. That invisible stability, that constant fight to stay exactly the same, is the strict dividing line separating normal bodily function from complete systemic collapse. The body enforces homeostasis using an automated algorithm known as negative feedback. Let's look at how this handles a hot day. When you step outside, biological sensors scattered across your skin and brain immediately detect a dangerous rise in your overall heat. Those sensors fire a signal to your brain's control center. The control center reacts by triggering the sweat glands in your skin, part of your integumentary system, to release moisture and evaporate away the excess heat. But the algorithm isn't finished until the response stops. The moment your internal temperature drops back down to the baseline, the sensors register the change and deliberately shut off the sweat glands. By detecting a change and deploying a targeted countermeasure, this negative feedback loop acts as an internal thermostat, constantly adjusting its settings to prevent you from overheating. This exact same logic applies to invisible chemical balances. Take your blood glucose, or blood sugar, which fluctuates every time you eat a meal. This anatomical diagram shows the pancreas, nestled right here between the duodenum of the small intestine and the liver. For your blood sugar, the pancreas acts as both the sensor and the control center. Watch how this diagram visualizes the process. When you eat, your blood sugar spikes, tipping the seesaw dangerously high. To counteract this, the pancreas releases the hormone insulin, which pushes the excess glucose out of your bloodstream and safely into your tissues. Hours later, when your blood sugar drops too low, the seesaw tips the other way. The pancreas detects the drop and releases a different hormone called glucagon, which pulls stored sugar reserves out of the liver to prevent a crash. The input is entirely different, invisible chemicals circulating in the blood rather than physical heat on the skin. But the underlying logic is identical. It's the exact same negative feedback algorithm at work. Through this continuous, quiet chemical seesaw, the pancreas ensures your body has a steady supply of fuel, keeping your sugar levels far away from toxic thresholds. We've looked at sweating skin and hormone-pumping organs, but to understand why the body works so hard, we need to zoom past the organ level, all the way down to the fundamental unit of life, the individual cell. Temperature and sugar regulation prioritize something far more critical than human comfort, the extreme fragility of the individual cell. If internal heat goes unregulated, the rising temperature physically warps and denatures the proteins and enzymes inside the cell, causing its internal machinery to seize up and fail. If the pancreas fails to provide a steady supply of glucose, the cell is entirely starved of the energy it requires to perform basic biological functions. And this diagram illustrates the fluid threat, known as osmosis. If the chemical balance in the fluid surrounding the cell is too concentrated, water is sucked out, causing the cell to shrivel up. If it's too dilute, water rushes in until the cell violently bursts. When you view life at this scale, the entire human body, your sweating skin, your hormone-pumping pancreas, the stored reserves in your liver, reveals its true purpose. You are a massive, automated support system serving trillions of these tiny units. Homeostasis is the active, ongoing creation of a perfect microscopic terrarium. It is the invisible shield that keeps your cells, and by extension you, safely alive.